das ist die Bundesterrasse. Und dort auf dieser Bundesterrasse spielt mein nächstes Lied. Einmal in der Nacht, als ich spät noch bin gelaufen, Bundesterrasse zu Tür auf gegen Hei, habe ich einen bärtigen Kerl angetroffen und gesehen grad, dass der sich dort jemals nimmt. Dass der sich dort zur nachtschlafender Zeit am Bundeshaus zu arbeiten macht mit Dynamit. Ich bin erklüpft und habe zu ihm gesagt, sagt, excusez, aber es sieht fast so aus, wie dass die da jetzt wirklich erwägen, das gerade in die Luft zu sprengen, das Haus. Ja, sagt der Mann mir mit Gefühl, es muss sein. Fort mit dem Kütt, 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 fort mit dem Kütt. Was ist als Bürger mir da übrig geblieben, als ihm das Probieren auszureden ich habe? Ihm auf die Vorteile alle beschreiben, von unserem Staat. Staaten so gut, dass ich Staaten so Staaten so Zurückli und Freiheit und Demokratie.
Wow, what do you want with this excavator?
Nice piece of gear. I want to demolish the federal palace.
What? Are you crazy? That's incomprehensible. You're aiming for sheer destruction. As rigorously as you make use of destructive violence, you are nothing other than a terrorist. You know nothing but hate. If you violate the free democratic basic order in this way, you either don't want to understand it or you cannot understand it. You're either a degenerate contemporary or a criminal foreigner.
Yes, bulldozing is really wrong. But he can't help it if he's intellectually weak. And it's also not his fault that, as a foreigner, he can't know any better. We shouldn't judge him like that. His pure hatred matches his political stupidity, and if he's a poor deranged person, it's not his fault. You know how much this world can mess up a mind. We have to help a man with his madness, and then integrate him properly into our values of unity. Crazy and have spent my whole life in this fatherland. I have a Swiss passport and have studied, although my sisters are smarter than me. I'm not a fanatic and I help out at the local church. I want to demolish the federal palace because it is demonstrably harmful to me and my friends and to the majority of people I know in the country.
What? Aren't you ashamed to set yourself up here as a traitor to democracy? It's bad enough out there in the world, it's difficult enough for Switzerland to hold its own. You are bringing the world's madness and terrorism into our society, where good law still counts for something. The Swiss Constitution is something very special, and every decent Swiss person has to show respect for it. If you are not committed to the common good, Swiss comrade, and are only concerned with your very own self-interest, then you are a parasite on our community and an enemy on the people's body. Instead of contributing to the good of the nation through work or investment, you promote social transfers, smuggling and enrich yourself with the power of Swiss franc, and the only one who stay here is the chief of the United States, and we are the ones who stay here as long as the cheese and the cows stay here.
View of democracy. But here, political leaders are not bound to any special interest. They have all the freedom they need to genuinely take care of the people's concerns. Of course, there are a number of problematic lobbying activities, for example, but the regulations are constantly being adapted. I am also #hateful. Above all, because equality is not yet realized when there are large income differences, and because widespread discrimination disturbs social peace. Justice must always be improved so that all legitimate interests are taken into account in democracy, including those of minorities. But a people that truly rules over itself deserves special protection. Fortunately, we don't live in a dictatorship. And if you don't like it, you can always turn to the opposition. After all, as a citizen you have every freedom to vote and, in this country, even to hold referendums. Common denominator of all citizens of any state. What always makes a people a people? Is Switzerland disconnected from the world market and the activities of the world powers that set up the world market? Doesn't every modern state have a constitution? Doesn't it say almost the same thing in every constitutional state? Why is it always freedom, equality, property? What do you get if you treat a big owner and a have-not equally? On what basis can a big owner have possessions and the others are excluded from possessions? Why shouldn't I stand up for my needs? Why shouldn't I measure the world by whether it benefits me? Why do I have to make a sacrifice with my work every day when there are so many people unemployed and productive power doubles every 20 years? Why are social transfers so poor? Why do politicians still think this is too much free money? Why do social services count as expenses? What is a bank? Why would any federal counselor, regardless of party, save the banking system? Why should it be a good thing if elected politicians explicitly do not have to bind themselves to a voter mandate and are allowed to do whatever they want within the framework of the law for 4 years? Can I vote out the basic framework of the laws, the Constitution? Why can't I have a say in whether taxes, money, or the state should be there in the first place? Where do the state ministries and offices come from? Why is it that their purposes are almost identical across all dictatorships and democracies worldwide? Do these state offices combine already provide a program? What is lobbying and why is it wanted and up until which point? Are to start and wage war. What remains of all your concrete reasons for voting if you draw an X on the ballot paper? What remains of all your concrete reasons for voting if you draw an X on the ballot paper? What remains of all your concrete reasons for voting if you draw an X on the ballot paper? Okay, I guess your point is that the whole system is against you. Suppose we agreed with you that the problems you mentioned actually originated in the democratic order we have here. Still, you can't seriously demolish the federal palace without having a plan of what you want to build afterwards. Friends, it's enough if we understand how normality works and know how and why it harms us, and that this current social order is the mistake, and what exactly we therefore have to refrain from doing when we build up afterwards. And then we can still look at how we can practically organize an economic system with a sensible workload and division of labor for the real satisfaction of everyone's needs. You just have to want it. You just have to be convinced that the constitutional state is not your means. You have to reject any current normality, and then it will work. Bring up the will and not to take part in this whole thing. Just make the decision.
So hat sich selber der Staat retten. Er ist mit Knüppeln und Knarren heim. Und ich habe mir an dem Abend im Knastbett Enttäuschung ausgerannt, für mich ganz allein. Gelungen ist zumindest, dass das Mond ist schon über den Laden mir Zweifel sind gekommen. Vom Mitmachwillen ist die Schweiz nicht abhängig. Doch gleich stimmen die Leute am regiert werden zu. Und etwas kommt mir seit dem Tag in Sinn ständig. Sehe ich das Bundeshaus harren in Ruhe. Muss ich gern denken, es steht ewige Zeit. Und es reicht nicht zum Sprengen, paar Säcke Dynamit.